What's up, people? We are back with more of Katawa Shoujo. In the previous video, we concluded the Lily route. We ended on a good ending, and I actually went and checked to see if there were like neutral endings, bad endings, and there are no bad endings for the Lily route. There is a neutral ending, however, but it just basically ends at the point before Hisao ends up going after Lily towards the airport, you know? So that's just basically where the neutral ending ends. It's just he decides not, or he just actually doesn't think at all about going after Lily and just accepts the fact that she is gone, and they just go separate ways, and that's pretty much where the neutral ending ends. So I'm really glad obviously we got the good ending, and yeah, that just means that we're completely done with the Lily route. And I just immediately wanted to jump into the Hanako route because these two characters are obviously very close, have a very close connection to each other. So this is basically the key choice between which route you will eventually lead into. If you go for a walk into town, you eventually run into Lily, and then you are in the Lily route. If you go to the library, however, you're going to see Hanako most likely, and then you'll end up in the Hanako route. So this is really the key choice in this particular point, whether you want to go for Hanako or Lily. And considering we already did the Lily, we gotta go for Hanako this time, so the library. One thing I want to mention before we start this route is that I think just like, you know, from the very beginning already, without these characters even having a really good connection, you know, because that's sort of what you build over time, I already feel that Hisao and Hanako have probably most things, or the most in common between Hisao and any of the other girls, right? Because they both like reading, they both always go to the library as sort of a default thing when they don't have anything else to do. So I'm really interested in how big of a role that's going to play in this particular route, and if they're really going to bond over the fact, you know, that they read a lot, that they perhaps even read similar books and that sort of stuff. So that's something I'm really interested in about. So let us, without further ado, just go ahead and go to the library and start the Hanako route. The library seems as good a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lily leaving, so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one, the sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. I guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around at a time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. That can't be too cheap. I've heard that this place has some pretty serious benefactors. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparations, but they're the only sounds to be heard. Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. I always gotta get used to the fact, you know, because really around the point when the festival starts is where Hisao sort of, you know, picks one of the girls and is like, okay, that's the route I'm going in, you know? So I always gotta just revert to that old Hisao and that old person of myself, you know, like put myself in a situation, okay, we're at the default Hisao again, and we're just, you know, we're at the festival and don't really know which girl we're exactly going for just yet. Yuko isn't here either. Maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. I quietly walk through the library, now fairly familiar with its layout. I head to the back, where Hanako's private little corner is. She has her own corner. I run my hand along the spines of the book on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time at the library at the hospital. Some things never change, I guess. Like the smell of a library. No matter how much care you take, the paper in books is always going to degrade with time. Probably, no matter which library you go into, anywhere in the world, it must have that same musty smell. I find something that looks light enough to read without any major thought involved, then look for Hanako in the reading area. There she is. Once again, she is sitting on a beanbag with her back to a bookshelf, reading the same book she'd had in the classroom. She's slowly making her way through the pages. Unlike last time I saw her here, I quietly take a seat in a beanbag. The noise is enough to catch her attention, but not startle her. This delicate routine that must be followed each and every time I try to talk to her almost feels like a hunting game. See, that's what I mean. She's like an innocent little lamb or a deer like Bambi, And if you just make one wrong step or just step too loudly, then she's like gonna skitter away. She's like You just feel you just gotta be so delicate around her. I feel. Is that the same book as before? Yes. I'm almost finished. Cool. I wonder if I should... Do you mind if I borrow it when you're finished? My mouth is faster than my mind, it seems. Sure. You may not like it, but... I'm sure it can't be that bad. After all, you've stuck with it, haven't you? I guess. I settle into my beanbag and set about reading my own book that had been buried in my bag. It's a light novel about pirates, yarr. To be honest, I'm barely skimming over the words, having chosen the book merely because it belongs to a different genre than I usually read. You gotta expand your horizons. Finding it hard to muster enough enthusiasm to finish the book, and noting that I've inadvertently distracted Hanako quite a bit, I decide to try and make conversation. So, I see Lily left without you. She nods before taking her eyes off her book. She must have been really into it after all. Lily said she had to go and meet someone. Who is she going to meet? I'm trying to think. Back to this particular moment in the Lily route. Was she... Akira? It might be Akira. I think it was Akira. It's gotta be. Like, who else would Lily sort of meet? If it's not Hanako, if it's not Hisao, if it's not Shizune. No, they're definitely not. She doesn't meet up with Shizune at any point in the Lily route, so it's gotta be Akira. And I remember meeting Akira kind of early on as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh? Akira, your sister. Oh god, I should have just continued. Sister? I haven't heard her talk about her family. She and Akira used to live together. I thought all the students lived in the dorms. We don't have to. But it's easier, right? I mean, there's food here, and you're close to school. I don't think I've ever been to class on time so often in my life. That would definitely be a thing for me. No matter how close I would be to the school, I would still manage to show up like a little bit too late. Even if I'm just like 1 minute away. For some reason I'll be like, when it's 1 minute before class, I'll just think like, if I check the time on my phone or my watch, I'll just like, yeah, I got some time left, it'll be fine. And then I show up and ending up showing late anyway. Her badly hidden smile proves quite rewarding. In the back of my mind, I know I have a bit of homework to catch up on, but it's quite comfortable in here. No one can find me and force me into working for their pet project either. Though now that I'm thinking about the festival, another question comes up. Hey Hanako, what are you doing for the festival? For a split second, I think that Hanako is about to throw her book in the air from shock. Sorry? I was just asking what you're doing for the festival tomorrow. Anything planned? Did she really think that we were like asking her out? I mean, that's kind of probably our ulterior motive. But we're just interested into what she was going to do, right? I don't know. Hanako answers in the way that people do when they don't want you to ask any more questions. I take it large crowds and loud music aren't really her thing. Oh, okay. Alright, I remember from the Lily route that Hanako was actually just, still in the library even during the festival. Change the subject. So, what's Lily's sister like? She is nice. She's pretty like Lily. but she dresses businesslike. Businesslike? She's always wearing a suit. Ah, I see. And that makes her less pretty somehow? Hanako gives an embarrassed shake of her head. No, just different. I'll admit it. This has got me intrigued. To hear Hanako talk about someone other than Lily is a first, and to be complimentary about it too. But as I try to picture this mystery sister, all I can think of is Lily in a suit. Well, it's not like that at all. And I can't imagine that not being attractive. Not at all. Hisao, focus. This is the Hanako route, okay? We've already been through the Lily route. Like, yeah, okay, the Lily route has been so beautiful and the best one so far, probably. But it's Hanako time, okay? Hanako time. Well, one day you'll have to introduce me to her. Okay. Our brief conversation ends as abruptly as it started, and we both return to our novels. The passage of time is marked only by the gradual movement of the patch of light cast through the window. Slowly, the noises from the various rehearsals in the building fade out and die as students start to get hungry and tired. Just thinking about that makes my stomach start to turn knots around itself. I think it's time to head back. Do you think Lily would be back by now? I think I might head back to my dorm. I'm pretty tired from this week. And not a word of that is a lie. Moving to a new school, as it ramps up for a major event, has been taxing, to say the least. I can feel myself nodding off as I read my book. Okay, I might stay here a little longer. Looking at Hanako's book, I can see that she only has is only a few pages away from completing it. For a moment, I consider hanging around until she finishes. But once again, my stomach turns, emitting a gurgling sound. Sure thing. Well, I'm going to head off before it gets dark. I'll see you around. Okay? Okay. See you, Hisao. Later. Hisao? Thank you for hanging out with me. I can see how hard it was for her to get that simple sentence out of her mouth. It leaves me hanging for a moment. So, there is someone in this school who is even lonelier than me. Maybe lonely is a wrong word. I haven't been lacking company for this first week, but I've still managed to feel somewhat alone and detached. Maybe lonely is a wrong word for Hanako too. She has Lily after all, doesn't she? I realize I've been standing there far too long without answering and pull off a flawless, not too exaggerated smile. You're welcome. Good night, Hanako. Night. That was sweet. You know, even something just as little as that, just sort of, you know, I mean, they're just, you know, kind of sitting in the same room, just kind of doing their own thing, but in a way it's sort of like, you know, hanging out with each other as well, you know, especially when it comes to a girl as delicate as Hanako, you know, who's not that easy to approach, I feel, especially, you know, because if I remember all the way back in in Act 1, the very, very beginning when I played it, for the first time we saw Hanako, and I kind of messed that situation up. She just, you know, got kind of scared of us, and then she just kind of, you know, ran off. So there is this really sort of, you know, really delicate approach that you have to take to approaching Hanako, and this time we actually managed to do it very well. I leave her to finish her book and head back to the dorms and the promise of food. Food! I want food! The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine, since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just any Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low quality food. Alright, this part is usually very similar between all the routes, so I'm just gonna check if there is anything we can skip. If not, I'll just continue obviously, but I just want to check it very quickly. Kenji, yeah. So there's a lot here that's the same. But Kenji tells us not to go. Don't go there. Oh, and then a whole conversation with Lily happens too, where you're ordering food at her stand. It's fine. Most of them seem quite relaxed as they work. Lily appears to be somewhat stressed. Because there weren't too many students there, and I feel like, well, what happened? They didn't get all the orders in or something either, so they were kind of stressed if they would have enough food for everyone and enough people working to actually serve all the food. So yeah, this is kind of where I guess it differs, where you're more, this route is kind of like still neutral. It happens in both routes, Lily and Hanako, but now we're like switching to the Hanako again. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I really can't blame her. On top of her issues with her stall, she seems to still be worried about Hanako. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off of our shy, mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako. I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face. Thanks, Hisao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please? Oh yeah, I'll get Kenji for you, okay? Will do. Have a good one. And make sure you take a break, okay? I will if I can. See you later, Hisao. I leave Lily in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she's enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering throughout the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your usual festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. This is not surprising, since I am standing before the library. Even the most eager of students don't bother to show anyone this section of the school. Yeah, cause who's like, oh yeah, I like studying so much. Come Mom, Dad, see, this is where they have books. Come, I'll show you the library, That no kid is ever gonna do that. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I am in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of a head with straight, dark hair catching my eye. Hey Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition. Hisao? Hey, Lily's pretty busy, so she sent me to find you. Oh, do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands? Didn't we just get something to eat? I thought that was our whole reason for going to Lily's stand in the first place, right? Because we wanted some yakisoba noodles or whatever. I brought some food, so I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed by it on the way here, and no one was around. We can make some food there, and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Sure. Let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate, practiced movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there is barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you couldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks. What? I don't know. It looked like you were tripping or something. A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. You know, when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again, when... It's a game. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. Oh, is it like one of those games, you know, where you have tiles, different colored tiles, and then you have to avoid all the black tiles or avoid all the, the white tiles or the blue tiles, red tiles, whatever, I for some reason I used to do that pretty frequently too. I don't know. It's just such one of those weird quirks, It makes no freaking sense whatsoever. But it's like, or your feet has to stay inside of the tile or the brick, I don't know. I used to do that too, actually. What a bizarre question. The floor just looks like any other floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes. What about it? Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones. It's so cute, mainly because I do that too. Wait, did I just call myself cute? Oh my god. That's one word I didn't think I would ever call myself, mainly because I don't consider myself that. Never mind. Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues, until I can barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Wait, what did she say? Sometimes when there's no one around. But the fact that she does this with us already means that she's a little bit more... I mean, you can already tell that she's a little bit more comfortable with us, right? Because I don't think if she wouldn't be, she would not go with us, and she probably would not even talk to us. So I feel like, this is already a good step. We're already connecting with her, bonding with her. Darker ones? Shuffling her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe at a tile that is barely a shade darker than the others. Like these ones. Oh, right. So these ones are no good. I point out a nearby tile. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I notice that Hanako is paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder, just how lonely does someone have to be to come up with a game like that? Oh my god! Is this game calling me lonely now? Oh my god, I'm learning so many things about myself from this route alone. And we've only just started. Oh my god, so apparently I called myself cute and I'm lonely. Damn. You're mean, Katawa Shoujo. You're mean. That hit me right in the heart. Oh Oh my god. I should put up a Bible thump here without the purpose of censoring, because I'm just so sad. But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. Ah, you're doing it too! Hisao is lonely just like me and Hanako. That means we're all not alone because we're all together, meaning, yeah, right? I have Hanako and Hisao, so we're not lonely. See? Got you there, Katawa Shoujo. We're all not lonely anymore. The noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home. Would you like some tea? That would be great. Thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. That's true, like now she actually wants to be with us, right? Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches on a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second, I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now. I don't know what you mean. Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here, it's like another world. You can pretend that there's no one around for miles. You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you can forget about the outside. That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom. I wonder why that is though, I think it's because I was thinking about this a little bit too, like, most of the girls, they have like really obvious disabilities. And Hanako, I mean, you can see her sort of disability, but I'm starting to think like, she has these really very visible scars, right? But I was thinking like, is that really something to be considered a disability? Because usually disabilities means you're unable to do certain stuff that normal people are able to do, right? I don't think her scar, I mean, we don't know why she got the scars, how she got the scars, what the scars prevent her from doing, so we don't know too much about it. But if they aren't that bad, then I still think like she could probably function as a normal person way better than most of the students here. But I think actually the biggest part for Hanako, I think, because I'm just making assumptions here, right? Because obviously we haven't gone too far into the route yet to come up with the proper, or to come to know about her exactly why she is like this and why she is at this school. But I think a biggest part of the fact that she is scarred is actually sort of the emotional damage that it has done for her, perhaps, and the fact that she is so like visibly scarred on the outside. I think people, it's one of those things, where if you see someone like this, it's not meant in a bad way at all, but you just sort of just like, you just jump a little, right? Like, whoa, because you sort of didn't expect to see that, and when you see it, it's not meant in a very offensive way or anything, but you just kind of like, you gotta do a second take, like, whoa, what is that? Because it's something that looks weird. Like, yeah, it's the same would probably apply to Emmy, because yeah, she doesn't have any legs. The same would apply to Rina, yeah, she doesn't have any arms. But I don't know, when it's something like that on your skin and scars and stuff like that, you that's something like a bit different as well, and that's something like, oh wow. Sometimes some people, catch themselves staring at it even though they don't mean it in that way or mean it in a bad way, but You know, so I feel like that's part of the reason why sort of people, I wouldn't say they're ignoring her, but they're just, because you see a person like that is like visibly scarred and hurt like that, it makes it almost hard for a normal person or any other person to try and approach her, right? Because you almost haven't keep it in mind that's like, oh, she must be somewhat emotionally damaged or really scared even or something, and it becomes really hard to try and approach that person, right? Which is, I think, the main reason why she doesn't have that many friends, because people just solely because they by default think that she is hard to approach, therefore they don't even bother approaching her, you know? But yeah, and I think another part of it as well, it's a combination of both that as well as the fact that because Hanako is scarred, maybe she finds it hard to approach other people as well. Like, we don't know if she was this shy before the scars happened, or because her scars happened, that is the reason why she is so shy. We don't know, but yeah, those are just some thoughts that kind of came to mind when it comes to Hanako, but I'm really interested, you know, in learning more about her. Yeah. Say, do you play chess? Oh no, you're not gonna fool me, Hanako. You beat Lily last time. Wait, I forgot. Who was the good one? I think I underestimated Hanako at the beginning, and Hanako actually turns out to be the one that was pretty good at chess, right? I think that was the case. Chess? I've played a bit, I guess. I mean, she must be, otherwise she wouldn't be, you know? You usually try and, especially when you're with a new person, you're like, oh, I'm good at this. I can sort of impress them with this thing that I'm good at. So I'm just gonna ask, oh, we should play chess because I think that's what I'm good at, right? You're not gonna propose to do something you're bad at, because then that other person will think like, what the fuck, you're not to say that they will think weird because you're bad at it, but they usually just, I don't know, they think because you proposed it, you probably think you're good at it. I don't know, overthinking again, but yeah. Ooh, I think she's gonna beat us, definitely. Or at least Hisao. I'm a grand chess master, okay? I'm good at chess. Okay, definitely not. I've played a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before? A little. Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. Do you want... Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind it. We arrange the pieces, and before long, we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences, nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. What? Okay, was it Lily the person who was actually really good then? I think Lily must have been the person that was good, but Hanako managed to win for once out of, like, you know, this. You know how sometimes you are much better than the other person and 99 out of 100 times you'll win, but that one time does occur sometimes, right? And I feel like that might be the one time where it occurred that Hanako beat Lily, even though she's not really better than Lily. I don't know. I completely forgot about what happened exactly there, because we were a spectator, right? When you're spectating, we weren't playing ourselves. So when you're watching, you're just like, yeah, okay, I guess I don't really care too much about the result. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age. I guess not. Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer causes me to think about my question. A bit. This is the first time I've played against someone other than her. Or? Oh, when she said or, that means she was thinking of another person and now she looks sad. Oh no. She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you. Can we play again? Or is this like her tactic, giving us a false sense of security by beating us the first game, and then, you know, she says like, best out of three, and then she just, you know, relentlessly destroys us in the next 2 games? She asked as if she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten into her? Sure, though don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone. Same here. As we're setting up the pieces, there's a noise at the door. Lily? Oh, Lily! Good afternoon. Lily. Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished? You both are here? Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left? Pretty much. We've been playing a bit of chess. Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while. The instant drop on Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view of her face, but Lily can't see. I kinda think that we should just stay here. Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty. Tea house? Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. Nope, we forgot all the times that we've been there. There is a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often. Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Hanako jumps a little at being forced into the conversation, but at least she seems less distraught than before. If it's to Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way. Hanako and I rise from the table in our preempted chess game. That was actually I feel like it's a minor thing, but it was a really good thing that Hanako, or that Hisao did for Hanako there, because I feel like because of the way how Hanako and Lily are close with each other, but you can sort of tell, you know, I mean, you could tell even in a Lily route that the sort of dynamic that they have between each other is almost like a mother-daughter relationship, right? Or friendship. But I feel like Hanako clearly didn't want to go outside into the crowd of people, which you originally thought what Lily's plan was. But because Lily asked, I feel like Hanako would just sort of say like, even though she didn't want to, she would just say like, yeah, okay, just do it for Lily, I guess. But the fact that Hisao picked up on the fact that Hanako didn't look comfortable with that idea, and that Hisao spoke up about it, because it's both something that Hanako is afraid to sort of say to Lily, and Lily can't pick up on herself because she can't see it, right? So the fact that Hisao sort of mentioned that, it's almost like he kind of stuck up for Hanako there, even though it wasn't in a bad way or anything, right? It wasn't like Lily was bullying or something like that, but it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's such a little thing that Hanako actually appreciates a lot. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please, lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side, and we venture onto the school's corridors. Alright, I'm gonna end this particular video here. Holy crap. This is actually, I don't know, it feels like it has a sort of similar feel to it, at least so far, to the Lily route, but it's a bit more delicate. I don't know. I feel like that is you know, that is gonna be the key word of this route or something, just delicate. Like, you need to be kind of careful and think your thoughts through very clearly and just be, you know, just being almost like walking on your tippy toes. You can't even take normal steps, you actually just have to walk on your tiptoes. So I feel like that is sort of the approach that we should take to this route and to Hanako in general. But yeah, this is looking to be a pretty fun and good route as well. So I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. In the next video, we're just gonna continue with the Hanako route. Alright, see you then. Peace.